The poem describes a humorous encounter with a strange man who wears a shoe on his head and hats on his feet. He politely offers a rose, which turns out to be a currant bun, and behaves in odd ways, singing strangely and hopping home on his head. The poem highlights the man's silly, imaginative behavior, creating a fun and whimsical tone. Stanza 1. One day a funny kind of man came walking down this street. He wore a shoe upon his head and hats upon his feet. Explanation. Stanza 1. The poet introduces a strange and funny man who is behaving unusually. Instead of wearing a hat on his head and shoes on his feet like a normal person, he has done the opposite. A shoe on his head and hats on his feet, which creates a bizarre and comical image. Stanza 2. He raised the shoe and smiled at me. His manners were polite, but never had I seen before such a funny sounding sight. Explanation. Stanza 2. Despite his odd appearance, the man is polite and friendly as he raises the shoe on his head in greeting and smiles. The poet is both amused and puzzled, describing the scene as a funny sounding sight, blending visual and sound-based confusion to enhance the poem's playful tone. Stanza 3. He said, "Allow me to present Your Highness with a rose." And taking out a currant bun, he held it to my nose. Explanation. Stanza 3. The man pretends to be very formal, addressing the speaker as Your Highness and offering a rose. But instead of a real rose, he humorously presents a currant bun, which he oddly holds to the speaker's nose, creating a silly and absurd moment. Stanza 4. I staggered back against the wall. And then I answered, "Well, I never saw a rose with such a funny-looking smell." Explanation. Stanza 4. The speaker is shocked and confused by this unexpected act. He steps back in surprise and makes a witty remark that he has never seen a rose with such a funny-looking smell, which is a deliberate mix-up of senses, sight and smell, adding to the humor. Stanza 5. He then began to sing a song and sat down on the ground. You never heard in all your life such a funny feeling sound. Explanation. Stanza 5. The funny man sits on the ground and sings a song. The poet describes the song as a funny feeling sound, again mixing senses. The sound is so unusual that it affects the listener in a strange and unexplainable way. Stanza 6. My friend, why do you wear two hats upon your feet? I said. He turned the other way about and hopped home on his head. Explanation. Stanza 6. Finally, the speaker asks the man why he wears hats on his feet. The man doesn't answer. Instead, he turns around and hops away on his head, making the ending as absurd and whimsical as the rest of the poem.
The Wit That Won Hearts, a story of wit and diplomacy. The story revolves around King Krishnadev Rai, a wise and powerful monarch of the Vijayanagar Empire.